How can organizations head off problems with ethics before they become a major issue?
Even though ex-CIA whistleblower John Kiriakou is sitting in jail for having described U.S. interrogation techniques.
When we think of whistleblowers, we think of the good guys, the ones who have the courage to bring down rogue companies and expose corruption within government agencies. But just like in the movies, the good guy doesn't always win.
Wrongdoing happens in organizations. It doesn't always happen purposefully. And the important thing is when it does happen, employees at all levels, not just at the top, should feel safe in reporting it.
First coined by Ralph Nader in the 1970s, whistleblowing is the practice of exposing wrongdoing in a workplace setting. This can include violation of law, gross abuse of authority or funds, and substantial and innumerable danger to public health or safety. Blowing the whistle on illegal or unethical practices can happen in both public and private enterprises, with information released to either internal or external sources. The process of whistleblowing has been recognized by U.S. legislation since 1863, when fraudulent and illicit business transactions pertaining to the Civil War spurred action culminating in the False Claims Act, or informally, Lincoln Law. Through precedents and revision, federal government has passed various, yet sometimes inept bills to protect individuals from retributions dealt by the organizations they disclose evidence against. These include, but are not limited to, the Lloyd-LaFollette Act of 1912, the No Fear Act, the Whistleblower Protection Act of 1989, and the Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002. The U.S. government has consistently taken a tough stand against private enterprises that try to stifle or delay the whistleblowing process. However, whistleblowers often face a series of hurdles while trying to alert the public of wrongdoing. The first hurdle is suspicion. Whether deserving of it or not, whistleblowers face scrutiny regarding their motives for divulging sensitive information. The reason for this is the Key Tom clause in the False Claims Act that entitles the whistleblower to a finder's fee for speaking out. The second hurdle faced is the burden of anxiety that accompanies standing up to one's superiors without guaranteed positive outcomes. In our imperfect society, the end result of whistleblowing is initially uncertain. It doesn't always lead to progress. Yet, whistleblowers such as Cynthia Cooper have found success and spurred positive ethical changes to American business policy. At the height of her career as an internal auditor at WorldCom, Cynthia became aware of illegal business conduct.
One of the most profitable sales channels of all of WorldCom, and with this collapse in the fraud, basically it disintegrated the entire company.
As seen with the example of Cynthia Cooper, whistleblowing has many positive outcomes. Cooper decided to blow the whistle simply because she noticed something was unusual in the financial records at WorldCom. Whistleblowers have many motivations as to why they decide to speak out. Some do it to save lives, some do it for the environment, and others are simply individuals who want to do the right thing. They are people with a great deal of integrity, and when faced with an ethical dilemma, are courageous enough to make the right choices. Whistleblowers step out to create a positive change, and the outcomes they produce have the potential to lead to a better environment for everyone. Laws can change to back their actions, and different policies can be implemented to ensure that such things do not happen again. For example, Bob Whitmore spoke out against the Occupational Safety and Health Administration Act, or OSHA, saying that it allowed employers to underreport workplace injuries. This act and its recording programs have since been reformed to more effectively target this problem of underreporting injuries and illnesses in the workplace. While there is a common perception that whistleblowers are not treated well in their organizations after speaking out, this is not necessarily true in every case. According to a study conducted by Rodney Smith and A.J. Brown, about 70% of whistleblowers say that they were treated well or even better by their coworkers and management after taking action. Most of these whistleblowers also say that they would report their findings again if a similar opportunity were to arise. Whistleblowers are generally embraced by the public, as shown by Time magazine, which named 3 whistleblowers, including Cynthia Cooper, as its Persons of the Year in 2002. Initially, we assume that whistleblowing brings about progress in society, but various problems can arise throughout the process, thus causing controversy. Whistleblowers step into the spotlight to talk about an issue. but it is not always for the selfless and honorable reasons we would like to think. Some people speak out for the monetary reward, which can range from $1,000 to as much as $14 million, while some are looking for attention themselves. Yet, others seek revenge against grievances they have previously experienced. In the end, they may be saving lives or helping the environment, but their motivations are selfish, and without these egotistical benefits, they would not have spoken out in the first place. The way whistleblowers release their information also has potential negative consequences. In the case of Private Bradley Manning, who leaked U.S. intelligence to WikiLeaks, his information had the potential to put lives of soldiers in danger, and it also created rocky relationships between the United States and Iceland. In addition, some whistleblowers are only looking to positively reform their companies, but by reporting such incidents, their companies suffer from negative press, which can increase the likelihood of bankruptcy and other consequences. Whistleblowing can also be negative because the whistleblowers may suffer repercussions from speaking out. Some whistleblowers, such as Private Manning, are fired, fined, or even imprisoned for stepping forward. Because it is difficult to identify a whistleblower's true motivations as either selfless or selfish, the act of whistleblowing often brings about a heated debate. This brings us to the most controversial whistleblower in recent years, Edward Snowden. As a privately hired contractor and former NSA employee, Snowden leaked anywhere from 20,000 to 300,000 documents to the press. In particular, Snowden disclosed what many people around the world had already suspected for years, that the United States government has been collecting exorbitant amounts of information from phone calls. While it is legal for the National Security Agency, or NSA, to spy on foreigners, the agency is expressly prohibited from spying on American citizens. From Snowden's leaked documents, we now know that the NSA has a vast phone metadata program, in which phone numbers, call duration, and call location are all collected. The NSA has also been storing scanned sounds, which allow for the possibility of wiretapping. From this, there seems to be a tremendous gray area between legal and illegal data collection. But what led Edward Snowden to breach his confidentiality?
Of my career, as I watched the news and I increasingly was exposed to true information that had not been propagandized in the media, that we were actually involved in misleading the public.
To Snowden, the United States government has turned into George Orwell's Big Brother, meaning that there is limited privacy. But not everyone shares his opinion. In fact, many believe his whistleblowing was blatant treason.
I don't think running is a noble thought. I don't think there's anything noble. He has taken an oath, and these oaths mean something. If you can't keep the oath, get out.
At the same time, however, many others champion Snowden as a true American patriot.
Time and time again, the American people were told one thing about domestic surveillance in public forums, while government agencies did something else in private. Now these secret interpretations of the law and violations of the constitutional rights of Americans have become public. Your agencies face terrible consequences.
Since taking asylum in Russia, Snowden says that no single document or occurrence led him to leak. Instead, the information in its entirety prompted him to disclose classified information to the public. Since his leak, some, including Senator Ron Wyden from Oregon, have started a vehement push for legislation limiting future NSA surveillance. While not admitting to any wrongdoing, President Obama and others in his administration have vowed to re-examine and re-evaluate the security measures used by the NSA and CIA. So, you decide. Is Snowden a patriot or expatriate? Hero or traitor? Should he have blown the whistle or swallowed it?